two different quotes on freedom. The first one is, no one outside of ourselves can rule us individually. We know this, and that's how we become free. And then the second quote is, freedom is not the right to do anything, it's the right to do the correct thing. I really liked that one. So we're going to start in Sukhasana, which is a cross-legged position. And I'd like you to have the right shin in front. If you'd like to use a bolster or a block of any kind to support your hips, or maybe fill the gap underneath your knee between the ground, go ahead and use that. You can slide it under here. And then today we're going to have our palms facing down. I want to root and connect. Close your eyes when you're ready. Take that moment. Draw your shoulders way up by your ears. Take them back. Take them down. And then just lean back a very little bit so you can feel that your crown is reaching up towards the sky and the sitting bones root down into the earth. So in Yin, we're going to use our good to be alive breath, inhaling long, slow, deep through the nose. And then opening our mouth, sighing as we release. This way we relax our muscles, going nice and deep into the connective tissue. As you bring your hands to heart center, bowing your chin to your fingertips, this is where we set intention and dedication. So if the freedom theme is resonating with you, maybe you want to focus on freedom in your mind. Maybe there's a particular place in your body that you want to create a little more space, a little more freedom. And maybe you know someone who dedicated their life to fight, and we're honoring them as a hero. Whenever you're ready, open the eyes, release your prayer hands all the way up to the sky, open those palms. And then today we're going to start in a fold. So all I want you to do is start to walk your fingers forward. Some of you can come down to the forearms. If you want to grab your prop, egg, bolster, you can use it under the forearms. Some of you who are a little more open, you can rest your forehead. And now I would like you, if you're able, to turn your palms to face up so that now we are going to start to receive. Letting the shoulders relax. Let the organs shift to the front of your body. Feeling the stretch in the outer hips, the spine, wherever you're holding on to tension, we're letting that go. Inviting in clarity, good vibes, and surrendering to what's not in our control. Sometimes I'll get a question if it's okay for the sits bones to lift up. And I want you to kind of trust your experience, because in Yin there's not an absolute that works for everybody. So try both, try rooting the sits bone and maybe giving up some of the length. And then try going a little deeper and lifting the sits bone. And one way is going to feel right. So that's your answer. Just another 30 seconds here. First stretch of the morning. If you're watching the replay, you're feeling this stretch on the right outer hip, perhaps a little bit in the left too. And then if the hips are super open, you may even feel this stretch in the spine. And we're just taking these long inhales and open mouth exhales. And then you'll finish up the breath you're on, eventually walking the hands back in. And now we're going to switch what shin's in front. So the left shin will now come to the front. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back in. So one way is going to feel a little bit easier for you. And that's not a good or bad thing, right? We just are the observer. And one day we find the balance where we don't quote unquote have a good or a bad. We find the balance, the equilibrium. So maybe on this side, you don't go down as far, you use your prop. can even use it vertically to rest your forehead. Maybe on this side it feels better to sit on top of your prop and then fold in. So if you'd like, the palms are facing up. We can even take chin mudra, the thumb and the pointer finger connect, creating energy lock. Noticing that the deeper you breathe, the more sensation is going to come up. And when we do that, the more we're able to surrender and release. I've never met someone that is like, oh, I really want to feel tight in my body, right? You want to feel loose and open. So taking care of yourself from the inside out. Just another 30 seconds here. Breathing through all tension in the physical body. Opening ourselves up for good things to come. And for this last breath, I want to do what my daughter, who's 5, taught me. And it's peace begins with me. She does this in her little yoga class at preschool. So you take your thumb and pointer finger and you say peace. And then you take your thumb to your middle finger, begins. And then your thumb to your ring finger, with. Finally, thumb to pinky, me. So it's peace begins with me. Walk your hands back in, stack your shoulders above your hips. You might want to bring your hands behind you. We're going to extend our legs forward. And we're going to recline onto our backs. And even though that's considered an easy position, through the long holds, a lot of sensation arises. So you can feel all the little nuances returning where they belong. And in a matter of 30 seconds, maybe 1 full minute, the discomfort leaves. And we can use this as a metaphor to know that whenever things are a little bit shaky or uncertain, that it's temporary. It will pass, just like all feelings do. So when you're ready, let's bend the knees. Go ahead and draw them into your belly and just take a gentle rock from side to side. Take care of that lower back and your kidneys. And then bring a hand on each knee and let's draw some circles. Take the knees up and into the chest and then out and away and forward. And after you do 3, change the direction so you can come up and in and then out and around. Just lubricating the hips. They're very complicated. Good. And then we're going to rock up to seat, so you can grab behind the hamstrings or under the knee. And you can do 1 rock, or you could take 3. It's really good for the central nervous system here. Coming up to seated for butterfly. Another hip opener. So the difference in yin is, instead of having the heels in, we actually want to walk them as far forward as you can without allowing the feet to separate. So the knife edges of your feet kiss, but the inner arches open up. And again, let's say today one of your knees is like just not cooperating. Take your prop, boom. If you'd like to move any flesh from the sits bones back. And then we've got a few arm variations. You could reach for your feet as you start to surrender and fold. I enjoy taking my forearms under the calf. And then you let your shoulders round. The forehead starts to descend towards the inner arches of your feet. So here I'm feeling it through my spine and my IT bands. But remember, that doesn't necessarily mean you're feeling it in the same location, because you could be holding tension in a different place. So I want you to think of a 3-dimensional breath. As you inhale, fill the front of your body, the sides of your body, and the back of your body. And as you exhale through the lips, feel everything squeeze out. It's always interesting to observe the thought, seeing if you're going to your past or your future. And whenever you focus on a mantra or an affirmation or your breath, you realize that you can be present. So if you'd like to observe the length of the inhalation, try to count how long you breathe in today. And once the lungs are full, I want you to try to exhale for the same duration if it's comfortable. So the inhalation is typically representing your receiving. And the exhale, the giving. Sometimes one is easier for you, and one's a little more challenging. And then just reflect back onto the way you do life off your yoga mat and see if there's some parallels there. So this is the part where if you want to make any adjustments, maybe you walk your arms a little past the feet. Sometimes it's nice to release the hands behind you so that the tops rest on your mat just outside your hips. And then maybe you can round in a little bit deeper for your final 3 breaths. So body cooperating now. We're not in that flight or fight mode. We're trusting ourselves. So when you are ready to release the pose, we want to transition really slowly. The connective tissue does not move as quick as other parts of the body. Help yourself by closing your knees. Maybe use your arms as brake pads as you lower down, extending the legs, and just resetting the body. Just like we reset our phone or computer, backing up the data, that's what we're doing between the yin poses. Sometimes after a couple forward folds, you feel it in the low back. So you can even do a conscious resting pose. It may feel better for you. Tuck the pelvic floor up and in. Keep your heels in line with the sits bones. And maybe you feel that lower back arch kind of neutralize. So the tailbone pulls in. You can even walk your feet a little wider and then take the knees into touch. So again, try the different variations after each transition, each pose, and then choose the one that feels good for your body. So we're going to do one more hip opener with bent knees. Take your time here. The beautiful thing about watching this in the privacy of your own home is that you get to do what you want, right? So if you want to stay in Shavasana a little longer, hit pause, literally, right? Eventually taking the knees in, and then do your thing. Does it feel good to rock side to side? A hand on each knee, circles. Eventually we're going to meet in seated. This next pose we call square pose in Yin. You might know it as sticks of fire. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do it. First way I recommend, bend your knees. And then I want you to take your right foot and cross it above your left knee. You'll notice by walking your hands closer, you're going to feel more sensation in this outer right hip. So this is option 1. You could stay here the entire duration of the hold. Level 2, extend your left leg. So see how high this right knee is? Maybe it would feel better with the prop underneath it. You can put it any which way, right? Shavasana way, Sukhasana way, Tadasana way. And then the full expression of the pose would be to have your left shin underneath so that your ankle and your knee line up on each side. So see how there's a little bit of space here? If you take your forearms, maybe you put them on that shin or the knee. And if you lean forward a little bit, like I'm going to tell you a secret. Feels good. So again, you choose 1, 2, or 3. This is feeling good for me, so I'm going to choose this option for today. And then if you want more, you can walk your arms or forearms forward. Again, you could melt third eye. So in each position we've done to this point, the knees have been bent and we've been in a fold. But there's a method to this madness. So I want you to think about that breath count we did on the last hold and which one was easier for you, the inhale, the exhale. And I'm going to challenge you for this hold to elongate the one that was more challenging. So if your number was 8, I want you to shorten your inhale, if that was the easier one, to 6. And then I want you to exhale maybe for 10, right? So you take away 2 and add 2. That way we can grow in the area that we're feeling imbalanced. And vice versa, if it's easier for you to do the exhale, shorten that one and then add length to your inhale. So honest moment when I stop giving cues and distracting you with my jibble jabble. Where does the mind go? Did you stay with the breath count? And if you didn't, that's fine. You know, just become aware. It's like I'm traveling off and now I'm bringing it back in. Full minute here. 3-dimensional. Working on elongating your challenge on the give or the receive. Finishing the breath, you start to walk everything back in. And then try to rewind it. So if you were in option 3, extend. If you're in option 1, extend. I know. I'm not even going to make you do the other side yet. Let's go back in Shavasana. Let's release all that. Oh, yeah. So good. The moaning is normal, and you probably feel a little funny doing it. But it's like my favorite part in live classes, like when I teach in studios or my privates, to hear my students be like, because it means that this negativity that like is no longer serving you literally is leaving the body. Sometimes you're well aware of it, and other times you're like, wow, I was feeling really tight and tense, and I'm so grateful that I no longer am. So by now, most of the discomfort has left the physical body. If there is any lingering in a particular location, I want you to invite in this white light with your inhale. And when you exhale, direct it to the place that needs the healing. It could be an organ, a bone, a joint, a muscle. And then when you're ready, let's draw the knees in and then just move in a way that feels good. And then let's meet and seated your way, no rush. And we're going to start on the other side. So complete new experience, no judgments. Option 1, we bend the knees, feet in line with the glutes. We're going to take this left foot, you can help it there, cross it above the right knee. And remember, if you're back here, you're not going to feel as much as if you walk your hands in, because the chest is more parallel to the shin, right? Level 2, I'm going to get a 2-for-1 special in the hamstring. Use your prop against the knee, right? Bringing the ground to you. Level 3, bend your shin so it's parallel. So if you look down, it looks like a triangle. And maybe you use the block under the left knee, right? You can use a blanket, a towel. Maybe you move flesh back. Maybe you take the elbow points, lean in. So the first breaths, we just allow ourselves to surrender and relax so the body is not so shocked. And as we build trust, we can start to maybe walk the arms forward, forearms down. Up to you, palms up, palms down. So this is your meditation. A lot of people think you have to be still and there's a certain duration of meditation, but this is motion meditation, right? We're still in these poses. And the reason I like doing the yin with my meditation is because I'm actually feeling something. So whenever my thoughts exit the room, I can bring them back. So I'm going to invite now a 3-dimensional breath. We've been using the inhale and the exhale up until this point, but let's try a hold on the breath. So you can either use the same number, or you could start to elongate both the inhale and the exhale so that you hold the breath for the same. So even if you want to try for 10 counts, you could breathe in. And then try to hold your breath for 10. And then slowly open your mouth, exhale out for 10. You'll be ready to draw that inhale. Hold your breath. And then exhale. Just check in with yourself, assuring that you're doing the best you can with what you got. Finish up maybe 3 more cycles of this 3-dimensional. So when you're ready to transition out, let's rewind, right? So my level 3s, walk the hands in, extend out to level 2, return back, option 1, and then let's take it on our back. Oh, thank you, body, for this freedom, right? Your soul, you live here, so it's up to you how you take care of it. Are you choosing good foods to nourish yourself with? How's your sleep? Are you getting some movement, your yang action, so that it fits whole with your yin? Again, any place in the body that needs the healing, send your breath there. So good news is we're done with our knee bent hip openers, right? More good news is we're going to do one more. Draw the knees in as you're ready. This time with our legs extended though. Meet and seated. We're going to take dragonfly, which is a straddle. So you might want to turn so you're horizontal on your mat. That way the legs have a little more support. If you would like to elevate the pelvic floor, you can sit on your prop. It's also okay here not to go into widest straddle ever. Like maybe walk your feet in a little bit more. It's okay to have the knees soft. What's important is that you relax your toes. I don't want the yang energy, the flexing, the trying, the ego. We want to move that to the side. Soften, soften, and then we start to walk forward. So in the very beginning when I started yin, this is what my forward fold looked like. I'm like, I am folding, and that's okay. Stay there. Eventually, with practice, you could start to walk your arms forward. You could use prop in front of you. And eventually what happens is we move out of our own way. So now the stretch is being felt in the groin area, inner thigh. So it's a complete different location in the hip. But again, same theme, right? With our spine folding forward in a prone position. You can use your prop under forehead. You could take a prayer hand with the thumbs facing up and you could rest third eye. This is intuition. The space between the eyebrows, just a little higher, forehead. And then I think in this hold, maybe see if anything comes to mind where you want to incorporate more freedom. That may mean that you have to say no to other things if the freedom consists of self-care and you're a people pleaser. Freedom may be starting to open your circles a little bit. Maybe you're not ready to go back out into the world, but maybe if there are like-minded people that have been quarantined that you trust, you can meet up with them for a walk. So it's up to you to create your boundaries. And it's okay if others differ. softening more and more. Maybe for some of you, it's asking for help so that you can have the freedom to do what you wish. I like to dribble in these little examples because sometimes one is like, you know what, I needed to hear that in this moment. And if you don't want to receive these, you can just kind of tune me out, right? So let's take a walk over to the right. Maybe a hand on each side of the leg. And you're going to feel that entire sensation move. Even if you can reach for your foot, don't. Relax the toes. Keep a slight rounded spine. You can release the neck here too. Maybe you start to awaken this part in your low back on the left side. And what you'll notice is with eliminating the effort, you may even go deeper than you usually do, right? If you're trying to get the forehead to the knee, maybe it's the passive approach, the gentler one that gets you there. After maybe 3 to 5 breaths, we can come back to the center and then walk it over to the left. So again, you might be here. Cool. No judging. You might start to walk here. Maybe the forearms, forehead. So in other forms and styles of yoga, we're so worried about the alignment, right? And where you should be leading with your heart, extending the spine. But in Yin, we soften. So think about moving out of your own way, not even in yoga. This way you revisit what's really going on, what's really important. And I think that's what the silver lining has been through a lot of this. So we're going to come back to center for our final minute. I'm going to give you one more chance to take it deeper if you want. Just see what happens. Maybe this left leg walks out another inch. Maybe this right leg. Right? Maybe you walk your arms a little more. Maybe forehead closer to the earth. Maybe you take your arms behind you, dipping the shoulders. And just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Like, I can do that, but it doesn't feel good. I prefer having my arms forward. Check in with the jaw, check in with the toesies. How many of you are excited for a pedicure? This is the part where you're usually at your edge, where you want to bail. So what do you do when things become challenging? Do you run? Do you give up? Or do you know that there's a reward in staying through the muck, through the discomfort? Because the best gifts are found when you can blossom through. Okay, so slowly, you were in there a while, stack your spine. Maybe take a pause before you do anything else. Soften the knees. You might want to help your legs close. All right? And then we're going to come onto our backs. It should be an amazing transition. Oh, you might be sore tomorrow and the next day, but you'll think of me. Hopefully with a smile on your face. So you're welcome. I just unblocked by guiding you what was no longer necessary for you to be holding on to. So now we have double good news. We're done with the hips. We're going to finish our class with just a little spinal work. I want to make sure that we reverse the spine like a slinky, right? We were going this way, this way, this way. So now I want to take it that way. And then we'll close with a little side body stretch and one spinal twist. So that's what's ahead. All yummy from here on out. So making your way onto your stomach, we're going to find Sphinx or Seal pose. So level 1, Sphinx, you are on your belly and you lift your chest so that the elbows are under your shoulders. And instead of like rounding, I want you to think about a pencil between your shoulder blades that you don't want to fall, so the chest broadens. And then relax the glutes. They usually tighten up. I want you to soften. And then if you bow your chin down, you're going to feel a stretch. Level 2, it's a little bit more. Elevate your shins so your toes touch. This is going to dig your hips down into the earth. Level 3, seal pose. So you keep your legs down, straighten your arms, and lift the forearms. So if you walk your arms forward, it's not as extreme. Walk your hands in. Shoulders usually come up like you're going to wear earrings, so try to relax. And then again, drop the chin and either 2 or 3 variation. You can take some neck rolls if you wish, a semicircle, left ear, left shoulder, chin to center, right to right. If it feels good, feel free to go in a full circle. Or it's okay to pause too. And as you breathe in, the belly expands. So it fills up like a balloon into the earth. And when you exhale, it flattens out. The other day, my husband was sucking in helium from one of the graduation balloons, and the kids thought his voice was the funniest thing ever. And then they were going to try it, and then they chickened out. A little too scary to take in air, but that's a good thing. It means I'm doing something right as a mommy, right? So check in here, just one more minute. If you want to modify, if you went in a little strong, and vice versa. If you played it safe, maybe you take it up a little bit more. And then we soften the glutes. Don't let that pencil fall from the shoulder blades. Keep drawing in so chest is broad, chin tucks in. Blow up your balloon, inhale. Exhale, flatten out, belly button into the spine. And then when you're ready to exit, you can come to your forearms. If the legs are elevated, release. Let's bring our toes together. Turn your right ear cheek to the mat. Release your arms by your side. And just shimmy your hips from side to side so the spine neutralizes. So some of you like to stay here. If you like a counter stretch, child's pose usually feels unbelievable. Knees can be together or apart, hips back. You could even take left ear to the mat, arms by your sides. And then you're going to roll onto your back. So opening side body is next. I want you to open your legs like a straddle. And then arms are going to reach overhead. Grab opposite elbows if you're able to. And then I want you to pick up your left leg, cross the ankle over your right, banana shape, crescent moon. Right arm and left arm are going to scooch to the right. So you should feel this stretch in the left side of your body. Head falls anywhere that's comfortable. Right ear could come towards the arm. You could keep it neutral. If you want a little more sensation, uncross your ankles and see if the legs go even more to the right and then recross. If you want less sensation, don't cross your ankles. So feeling the stretch in the rib cage, the intercostal. This will help you in all your externally rotated poses. So for those that practice other forms of yoga, your warrior twos, your triangles, your half moon, side angle, reverse. So for time purposes, we're going to just enjoy another 2 rounds, inhaling and exhaling. So to come out, you're going to uncross the ankles. I always recommend coming back through the torso and then walk your legs in and then arms release. Notice the difference between the 2 sides. And then when you're ready, open the legs nice and wide, right over left. So you can go in the natural way, you grab opposite elbows and then reverse it so that your opposite forearms in front are on top. And then now take your torso, take it to the left. Find a comfortable place for your head. So remember, if you want more, uncross the ankle and try to walk the left and right leg even more to the left and recross. If you want less, keep your ankles uncrossed. As long as the stretch being felt through the right side's body, you'll get all of the benefits. What's nice about doing this pose on the ground is you know that you have the good alignment with your hips and shoulders on the same plane. When we do it standing, we're unaware sometimes that the shoulders go forward or the hips are back or vice versa. So that's why this stretch is usually a little more intense, not just because we hold it longer, but also we know that the alignment for our own bodies is on point. So you can call this pose Banana Asana. 2 more breaths. So head through center, uncross ankles, torso through center, and then you kind of walk your legs back, release the arms. Just notice. Hit the pause button, not being in a rush or a hurry. When you're ready, hug the knees in. This is going to be Yogi's choice for spinal twist. We're going to go to the right. So you can either keep the knees where they are. You can cross left over. You could extend one leg. Turn the head to the left. Your favorite spinal twist. 3 breaths. Just allowing everything to go back to balance. Aiding in our digestion. Shoulders and hips are perpendicular to each other. Head through center to release, knees through center. Go ahead and plant them in conscious resting pose. Left hand on heart, right hand on belly. Just take a moment of gratitude. And then let's take it to the left. So hug the knees in. Arms out like angel wings. You could either just let the knees fall to the left a little bit more if you want to cross, or extend the right leg out. Turning your head now to the right. Curling the fingers like you had this beautiful crystal in the palm of your hand. Heart wide open, fourth chakra, emerald green, just beaming out. Feeling the clarity. Whenever you take your third exhale, head through center, knees through center. Give yourself a final squeeze before Shavasana. If you'd like to come to Supta Baddha, bring the soles of the feet together. You could do a goalpost or cactus arm. Fingers can gently touch. We have 1 full minute in relaxation, so if you want to come to Shavasana, you can extend your arms, extend your legs. There's about 6 to 8 inches away. Take up a little real estate, walk your legs a little wider. We work those hips today. Close the eyes. Allow them to roll back into the sockets. And then soften the areas around your eyes and your cheeks and your nose. Relaxing the mouth, separating the teeth. Tongue floats away from the roof of the mouth. Relaxing through the neck and the shoulders, down through your arms and your fingers. Relaxing through the torso, the spine, the organs, and your hips. Down through the legs, your feet, and your toes. Taking final rest. This is your Shavasana. Soak in all the benefits from the practice. Coming back to the 5 senses, the sounds of the chimes, my voice, the music. Maybe breathe in, acknowledge any smells. You've got your candles or aromatherapy oils. A little bit of movement in the fingers, the toes, turn the head side to side. Eventually draw the knees in, maybe lick the lips for taste. Reaching your arm like a pillow on the right side. Come to fetal position and just take a pause. Notice how you feel. Even commit to yourself to revisit this moment whenever you need to. You've earned the freedom. Coming up to your comfortable seat. Keep your eyes soft so that the journey stays within you. Maybe coming to lotus or cross-legged. Hips are nice and open. And then let's bring the hands back to heart center as we bow the chin to the fingertips. My hope is that in any way that you're feeling stuck or blocked, that this class serves as a reminder that you deserve the freedom, the clarity. Thank you so much for showing up and doing the work, allowing me to guide you. Namaste.